You're listening to the You Don't Know Me Yet podcast network.
Hey y'all, this is a Daydreamers podcast. I am Erin and my amazing co-host is K'Shana. Let's pick up where we left off last week. Nobody is thinking about you.
I was immediately
Nobody is thinking about you.
I found it
was funny.
But it wasn't funny
Hilarious.
until just now when you explained further. And
yeah.
What the reaction y'all just got was a live reaction of me finding out that, let me tell you something.
Other people.
Be careful about the way, and I'm not just referring this to me. Be careful about the way that you speak about people in crowded rooms, loudly and boldly. Because when you get addressed, please be aware that you're going to be addressed in a crowded room, loudly and boldly. I'm not going to pull you aside.
Should we get cunt?
I'm not going to. No, because I'm not spending any funds on this.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But I'm not going to pull you aside. I'm going to address you the same way that it happened. And I'm not saying I'm going to give you the same energy, because your energy is bullshit, and I'm not going to reflect that. But what I am going to do is ask questions.
Like how?
I'm going to confirm. And then also, I don't care how I got in it. It was said. I don't give a fuck at this point. So what you're going to do, okay, is watch that. Just watch that. Because there's plenty of things, and whatever. Plenty of things can be said about people. But see, that's what happens when you don't really have shit to lose. You play games like that. And I don't play about that, because that could have went a completely different way, and still can. Because this was just recent. So
this was like
don't
like a day ago, 2 days ago.
It's two things. Like, it's several things really you don't play with, but I'm gonna just name two. One of them is my fucking intelligence, and the other one is my livelihood. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that was a live reaction of me actually being upset.
Because I was like, well, who was in the room? And the person I work with was like, well, I don't really know everybody in the room, but there were people.
But if you literally say, I don't care who was in, you did that part, I don't give a fuck what you say.
It was intentional.
People can say whatever they want to say.
You want somebody to hear that.
But if you do it in that type of environment in an effort to, whatever, don't do that. Don't do that. What a shitty person.
Girl, well, we already knew that. But
I wouldn't it's just like, you shitty person. For me, I wasn't like,
it was just like,
but like this.
Deal with this person. Now it was just like,
what a shitty human being. Like, I'm really disappointed in you. Like, people say things all the time or whatever, like, whatever. But like, I'm truly disappointed in your humanity at this point. Like, that's ridiculous.
Well, this is also my thing. One, don't nobody even care. For you to be like, oh, two cunts I don't care about, nothing, kiss my ass. Like, ain't nobody even thinking about you. Like, nobody thinks about you. I
care about this.
Exactly.
It's the other part that I care about.
In this situation, I'm in a situation where I can influence things. Not influence for things to go my way, but I have a voice in what was happening, and I was on the back end of things to where like I could see and I can be like, oh, this is how things need to be done. Let me share influence, as in let me share some good information. Let me share this opportunity.
Yeah.
Let me share
all the time.
If you have questions, you actually know some people involved in this thing. In some cases, you wouldn't be able to call them and be like, hey, I have a question about section 2, question B. I came to you and say, hey, I heard you were interested in this. Like, I'm going to do a
thing.
Okay. I'm going to do something to where
we're going to get everybody together.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the details of it.
Right. So whatever reason, maybe we can address it, because why not take advantage of this opportunity with what's going on? I did that, You didn't attend,
and that's fine, because like sometimes schedules don't align.
Right.
It's less really about that and more that you always had the opportunity the opportunity was always there, but you'd rather talk shit in a crowded room of possible coworkers and what is that?
Associates, community partner, whatever, people.
You'd rather talk shit in a room full of colleagues on various levels about work, as far as like work, and also the organization that we are a part of, and we are literally a part of the face of
the face.
You'd rather do
the voice
that
Literally.
then ask a question.
And like the thing
Because
is,
you're in your fee-fees and you don't know how to process them. Go get, I don't know
The
if you
other
seeing
thing
somebody,
is-
but you go sit on somebody's couch. And y'all know I say that every week anyway, so that's not an insult. But you need to learn how to process things a little bit better. Because that wasn't a smart decision.
It wasn't. But the other thing is, because I'm still over here like, but I did so many things for this, the collaborations that went into this, the work that went into this. And once again,
I want to talk
we're
about
in
it.
a space.
I want to talk about it now. Now I want to talk about it today. I want to talk about it. I know it ain't going to be today. But when I see you,
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. And so
The fact that you know
I wanna
people,
talk
if somebody
about it.
actually came to you and was like, hey, what's up? Like, if you couldn't make the meeting for us to talk about details about things, you could have been like, I can't do it. Oh, I would have. Okay, well, what?
you didn't even have to say you couldn't do it. Again,
Just-
the opportunity is always
just
there for you to
be like, oh, what's a good time? Let's do it. We can
There's
we
an
can do this
inbox,
again. It's
there's
multiple ways and times, and I have all the time in the world to give
technology is
to
a thing.
this. So hit me up. But anyway, so there's that. So I tried to help my people. You know, it don't matter the color or
Right.
whatever. But
just in general, the people that you
I'm
know, like, hey, this is
helping-
happening. This is happening.
Yes, I'm doing this. Happy to do it. I even though me and
And
you
also,
bump
you're
heads
not
plenty
even
of times.
you're not even the bottom line decision maker. You were just letting people
Literally.
know about a thing. It wasn't even your choice.
It wasn't even my final decisions on stuff. It wasn't even my final. But if anything, I organized the hell out of that thing.
That's all
you
you
know
can
what I'm
do.
saying?
Yeah, and
You know?
it wasn't your final decision.
Exactly.
On purpose.
So-
It wasn't supposed to be.
Exactly.
So, all you
But-
were trying to do is get people in the room and let the decisions be made.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get you in the room now. It's kind of like getting somebody an interview.
Exactly.
It's not up to you whether they get their job. or
No,
not.
exactly.
And it's also not up to you to tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you forgot to put your birthday in here," or you didn't. That is a courtesy. No one has to. If you're filling out a job application or something, every now and again they may say, "Hey, you missed XYZ," or "Hey, can you forgot to put." That's the courtesy. Most people just put that in the trash and move on from there, that's pretty much par for the course. You know,
And, you
anything
know-
beyond that is a kindness and
And-
a courtesy.
exactly.
That is not guaranteed to you.
But things happen to where
Pero,
it couldn't be reviewed.
nope.
So therefore, that's why there was no participation on your end. But it's just like, wait a minute, how you just gonna sit up here and be like, oh, that's the reason why?
Well, I know how, because again, you were in your fees and you don't know how to process shit, and you throw
over here
tantrums.
assuming, making bogus and false assumptions with
And
no
other
information.
people, and other people are left with the fallout. So I'm not sure. Matter of fact, I don't give a fuck what the other people around you say or don't say to you. But when it comes to me, we're gonna have a conversation, and I cannot control anyone or how anybody
I ain't saying nothing about it.
or anything about that. But I can control the capacity that I deal with you in.
And the thing is, though,
That's what I can do.
the other thing, because I could see why your foolishness led you to assume that, like, or led you to take things out on me and call me a cunt, which does not offend me. I was like, that's a white term, isn't it? Like, is that supposed to call me if you would have said bitch, it not gonna hurt, but I would have been like, oh, okay, you throwing shots. Like, a cunt,
I don't
white.
care. I don't care
about that. I've bumped head with this person before a couple of times.
This person bumped head with a lot of people.
This person is
before.
owed a cuss out.
Oh
like,
my god, I forgot about that.
Several.
Yeah,
Several. I was on the phone with K'Shana and the homie Vitus, and they was both like, no, pause. And I was like, no, I'm finna call this motherfucker right now.
No.
And they was like, no. I was like, no, I'm finna do this right now because they was like, no, but you know what? I am in a leadership position.
When I see you, though.
So I I just let that go and let people that are above my pay grade,
when I see you, I want to talk. And
handle that matter.
I don't mean
But
it in
this
a
person-
Nicki Minaj, Miley was good. No. I mean, I literally, because I'm grown, first of all. And I repeat, I am grown. Ain't nobody trying to, this is not, I want to know. I need confirmation.
If it weren't for the bigger picture, on multiple levels, you know, I've said this before to you and Vitus in our personal conversations, because it's like, it's been times like for instance with our organization and stuff, there are times I'm like, I felt overwhelmed just with everything that I was doing, and I was like, you know what, and there was times where it was people coming at me with BS or whatever, and I said, if I did not see the bigger picture, I would just walk away from this shit.
This is a reminder that you are always the villain in somebody else's story. But that's exactly what it is. It's a story. It's their point of view. So you don't really get to control people's perception.
No, you don't.
Or things like that. And again, we cannot control anyone's behavior or anything. But
that
what
is
I can
true.
do, like I said, is let you know.
But I'm just like, because I was looking at it like I spent my time doing X, Y, and Z, doing things I don't have to do, which was fine for me to do. It wasn't an issue for me to do it, but it was an extra step that in most cases in other situations and places would not have been taken. So it wasn't like I did anything unethical, but I just did an extra step that like most places wouldn't do, but it wasn't an issue for me to do that. But I'm like, I'm doing all of this because of the bigger picture. Because of the bigger
I hope
picture.
you don't let that affect the way that you do things.
No, it's not.
Like,
it's not at all. At all. I will still do the same thing.
Yeah.
I will still act in the same way with said people that I know.
But I can see, and I also have spoken to people who've had certain things happen. They're like, I stopped extending, or I'll say hyper extending, because it is a way of doing things that you don't necessarily have to do or not required, going beyond what's required, and trying to make sure opportunities get in front of certain
this situation
people.
right here isn't gonna do it. I'm sure I will run into a situation where I'm like, you know what, I ain't doing it for nobody. But for me right here in this particular situation, it wasn't.
But my thing is,
and
that
the good outweighed that tantrum that happened. Like,
my thing is that it could have been, because this wasn't just like, oh, you just talking shit. And you just talking shit, because people gonna do that. The fuck.
Oh yeah.
People, you just talking shit, and like somebody else happened to you, just told somebody else, and then whatever. Nah, this is strategic, and that's the part that I have a problem with. You intended to do damage.
You made a whole declaration. Hear ye, hear ye. Tapping on the glass. But this is a reoccurring thing that I've seen with me, because not too long ago this happened with somebody else, and what's the funny part is that I wasn't supposed to know about it. K'Shana spilled the beans.
I will say this: when certain things are said about people, whether it's you or something else, and by I mean like certain things that are said, I mean when certain assumptions are made, I correct them. I don't just sit there, whatever. I'm gonna let you talk, but I'm gonna say, hey, actually, I can see how you would think this, because this is the part that you see, because perception
right,
is your truth, right. Everybody's truth is based on their perception and their experiences. So I can see how you would be led to think XYZ, but actually this is this, and it's really just because you're not privy to
the information of what's going on
that's in the background, right. Because you're not privy to it, so it leads you to make certain assumptions. Ask questions. It's easier to ask questions than it is for other people, because it's really not even you all the time, but for other people to have to deal with the fallout of your assumptions. It was the reasoning behind the way you were moving was assumed, and because they did not, because of a lack of information.
This is a different person, but it's something that I'm over. I organize. I do, and they had an issue with it, and they took it to. They said something to K'Shana about it. K'Shana wasn't supposed to tell me.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. I just corrected it.
It is, but it was just funny. It was just,
I just corrected it. And it's also important that, like, depending on the type of stuff that it is, especially when it comes to business, hell yeah, I'm gonna tell you, because if it's something you need to do to move differently,
right?
Or even if that's just slightly, or you need to know the perception of, hey, this is how it's looking to other people from the outside in. Not saying you made, and we know that this is untrue, but we can see how this is. So maybe we might need to
I
do
blew
something
up
different.
I blew up when I found out what was the perception. Yeah, it was. It was. So there's one thing, like there was 50% was fact. Oh, I did miss this. I did miss that. My bad. I missed this one thing that I needed to do for you. My bad. The part that I have issue with is
the why.
This person missed, Erin missed this because I feel like she only wants to do
And I'm keep saying the why because that does not need to be included.
No, I'm not going to say
Okay.
I'm not going to say what it is. But her priority is over here instead of
over here
for the greater good, for the entire greater good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, wait a minute. I don't have favorites. I work for everybody. I do for everybody. And if you really paid attention, anything that I personally am invested in really don't get done, because you know what? I'm so busy doing stuff for other people, like the wife and mom I am. You know, I'm trying to make sure everybody else is good that's around me.
And also, again, on the back end of not being privy to certain information.
Exactly.
This responsibility is not just with you, but because people are not privy to the back end of certain things, you don't know that, and it can appear a certain way. And this is not like a blame shift or anything, because it's not anything like that. Things happen or whatever, but I could see how it looks, and so because of that, I said something. I corrected the perception, right? You know, and
that's not true at all. I focus on everybody. Now, do I think I'm wrong all the time? No, but when I realize I am, and I see that I'm wrong, when there's facts,
like if something really, because we are people
wrong.
We play all day like we did earlier about not being wrong or whatever, but we don't think that was superhuman,
right,
or anything like that. Right. And if it's something wrong, like I'm cool with accepting.
I'm all for being accountable, which is why I operate in the ways that I operate at home, at work, for volunteering, whatever. I operate the way I operate because I'm all for being accountable.
But tell me, because I'm not gonna know
exactly. And so if I miss something, just talk to me about it. Just be like, hey, Erin, like this happened this time, but don't come and try to put it in my face, and that ain't cool.
The delivery.
Just be like, oh, you missed it. Oh, my bad. You know what? I did. Let me fix this right now.
That's part of communication. So your delivery matters, and that means the way that you do it, your method of delivery, whether that's email or verbal or phone call or text. Yeah. Where you do the delivering matters, like what setting, and it also matters when, like how far. He got allergies too. He does. But it also matters like how far out from the incident, or how close to the incident, or you know, whatever. I kind of gauge those things when communicating with people.
But the thing is though, I'm assuming that you were thinking they aren't aware. Some people are in fact aware.
They know what the fuck they be doing.
How they are saying it, what they are doing.
I'm talking to our listeners who got seats.
Okay, the folks
we are not wild and feral over here, and so because we're not wild and feral, we do our best to try to take those things into consideration, and we also can be empathetic with full understanding or a partial understanding of why certain things may have happened, or why people may have chosen to do the things that they have chosen to do, while still holding them accountable for their actions and the negative impact that it has had on us. Because you may very well have issues processing things, and because, again, as I said before, being in your fifis, you say a thing a certain way or do a thing a certain way or whatever. It's not an excuse.
I'm with you on the facts. Stick to the facts. Don't say this is what happened. Yeah, I missed something, but Erin missed this, and she missed it because of that. Whoa, girl, not even.
Because if you're saying certain things, I know you're saying them other places as well, and definitely. That can be
most definitely
damaging. So we're always going to be the villain in somebody else's story, whether that's like based on facts or just feelings or opinions, whatever. I think another thing to consider when we're thinking about these things or experiencing these types of situations is how much we're going to care about it, and not just how much we care, and if we do care in a certain capacity, the why behind it. Like, why is this important? I know why that. I was unbothered until I found out further details live and on.
About you being a cunt.
Yeah, like I don't care about that, but like it's the other stuff behind it. So the whys for me is the effects, the negative effects that it could have had in a lot of different areas of my life.
It's like, for real, if you gonna talk shit about me, talk, do it with some facts. That's what it boils down to.
Say what you want.
With facts.
I really don't care about certain things unless they're like affecting or have the possibility to affect my money or other things that I care about, like that I love. You can't care, because people are always gonna have something to say. You can't care.
Anyway, girl, you got some news? I ain't got no news.
I ain't got no news. My show coming up.
Yes, K'Shana's show is coming up.
Not me being in other people's pictures.
The date has been changed.
Well, no, the show opens on the 28th, but the reception is on May the 4th. And I think it'll start at 5:30, if I'm not mistaken.
I need to get all that info. So.
The show is going to run through the beginning of August. So if you are...
We need to, I feel like we need to do, some events to make sure people come, at least be in the space. Kind of how, the South got something to say with that exhibit. You know what I'm saying?
I will say just the process of some of the pieces, doing some of the pieces have been a little more challenging than I thought they were going to be. So...
Is it taking you another place or just literally physically?
Yeah, I mean both. I mean all of it. Not like that, but mostly just emotionally challenging or whatever. There's some things. And if y'all didn't know, the show is based on, it's all centered around Black women and breast and taking care of Black women, actually caring for Black women and Black women caring for themselves. And just sometimes some of the things that we go through or some of the things that we experience as it relates to, learning how to set proper boundaries and things like that, and just being.
All right, people will hit us up on all the socials. Find the podcast at Daydreamers Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Find me at Love Erin AD everywhere, and find K'Shana at KHD Studios.
Yes, you can even see some sneak peeks of some of the pieces that will be in the show.
Most def. I know. I reposted them on TikTok. I reposted it from our podcast page for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, pieces are dope. I'm not saying this because I'm friends with her. I thought her artwork was great before we actually became friends.
I have to redo some of those things because the reception date is changed, so I have to redo some of this so people don't have the wrong information.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We can
just
reception
update.
Is the 4th. Yeah, TikTok don't let you edit nothing. See,
no,
I can edit Instagram, but I can't edit. I have to
and
take
Twitter
it down
won't
and
let
redo
you.
it.
I hate Twitter. You've been around since 2000.
Since 1998.
Why can't we edit our captions, our tweets? You want to do everything else. You want to be Instagram so bad.
Also, I got to be in my photography bag today, which I'm excited about. I never did an event. I had to cover an event like this, so it was pretty dope. That's work.
You got some good pictures. I'm sure you did.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, speaking of something else that I did, my godson expressed an interest in photography, and my oldest godson, and I hired him to just take photos. Honestly, it was just an opportunity for him to get out there, but I also did need some kind of pics. We had our art crawl not too long ago where all the art galleries opened up downtown. Of course, our nonprofit Black Creative Circle of North Louisiana is in Sugar Gallery. We're always open for the art crawls, but I had him there just to be in the space. And like I said, he expressed an interest in photography, and I gave him my camera, which is awesome. It's a Canon, but the LCD screen broke, which is cool for him because when I learned how to take pictures, it was in high school in 2003, and it wasn't really like that. I was having to manually do everything, so I just had to trust my eye, which I didn't know what I was doing, but I had to trust my eye. So I was just like, you can't see what you did, which is even better because you're gonna have to just really work at it or whatever. Anyway, all that to say, I had him taking pictures, and I was really happy to spend time with him, have him in my space. He went up under me, and I went all up under him or whatever, but I was just happy to have him in my space. And then also that's what BCCNL is about, just one of the things we're about is providing opportunities and experiences to people that wouldn't know otherwise. When was my godson ever going to be at an art gallery crawl thing, be around all these freaking Black people, take photos of them, be at a spoken word, hear an amazing photographer speak about his work, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That people have inclinations or have expressed interest in certain things, and you are in those spaces and you have the capacity to do so. Invite the people into those spaces.
And then I made it worth his while by paying them $50.
Yeah, because pay people for their work. Even
though he was a straight up novice and he's 16,
we ain't gonna start that. Yeah, but you still gotta pay. Let's talk about that just real quick for a second. Whatever level it is that you're at and wherever you are does not mean that you should be doing it for free. It just means your price should reflect the level that you are. You do not have to be out here doing things for free. Always expect to be paid. Always,
Right.
excuse me, let's not say expect. Always require some sort of payment.
Require
Some sort of payment. And also, if you're looking for certain services and you want to get a novice or something like that, be prepared to pay them. Just be ready to pay them because they're providing a service and you need to pay them just like you would pay anybody else. You pay the person who comes anyway. Just pay them.
Oh,
pay,
girl, let me tell
pay
you
creators.
Let me tell you this. He gonna tell me. He came up to me at one point during the art crawl and was like, "Yeah, somebody asked him to take their picture." And I was like, "Oh, like on the spot." And he was like, "No, like take their pictures." And I said, "Did you tell them you were not a professional photographer? That you were doing your godmother a favor?"
No, because he is.
No, but he said this woman. I said, "Well, how old was she, or who was?"
Oh no, Marcus Houston.
There we go.
No,
there we go. And
that's right.
And that's why I said you're not a professional. Okay, so I was like,
no, Marcus Houston.
So I was like, I said, well, who was he? He was like, well, I don't know. I said, well, how old was this person? Because he said woman. He's 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like 25 and up, he will call a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, who? Well, I don't know who. And I said, why would you put this woman's life in danger? And he said, what do you mean? I said, you gave her. I didn't tell my girlfriend that she gonna hear it because she listened. But
She finna beat somebody.
he gave her his number for her. So he's like, so when she called, what am I supposed to say to her? And
No,
I was like,
child.
I was like, what?
No.
I said, why would you put that woman's life in danger?
But this is a lesson.
And he said, what do you mean? I said, what you think your mama gonna do if this person, this woman, whether she's 23 or 43, calls you? What do you think is going to happen to her? Why would you put her life in danger? I said, look, the next time somebody asks you for photos, you say you are not a professional.
Mommy.
Yes.
It's Daddy.
Yeah, there's daddy. I said, you say you are not a professional photographer. You're doing your godmother a favor, and you're not doing photos like that. The next time somebody asks you that.
But is he trying to do photos like that? Because it's a way he can still get the business
and
not he's like, oh yeah, actually,
look,
let me hook you up with my mom.
This is not the
I'm gonna give you this, and so he can.
It's not the time for that. I needed to at that moment because I was busy doing other things.
Because
don't
shut his business down.
He ain't got no business.
He
has no.
He's trying to have one.
I will work with him. There's a way to do it. I'm all for him having a business. You could take pictures of all your little homegirls at school. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to help you do that if that's what you want to do. But what you're not going to do is be at this art crawl in downtown Monroe with me. Your parents dropped you off with me. Don't think me and your mama are really close friends. Don't think she won't be my ass.
You can say, hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, actually, let me let you talk to my auntie. She's my booking person.
That's what I'm saying.
And the message would be sent.
But at that moment,
I'm not a professional.
But he ain't though.
Well, first of all, it was on the lady.
It was.
It was on the lady.
It was.
It's on the lady.
But which is why at that moment I hear everything you were saying. I hear that, and I'm with that.
But reflexively, that was your response.
But at the moment, I said, "Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. We not doing no. Because what a woman? What is your definition of a woman? First of all, and who is this woman?
Way,
you clearly look like a little boy. Okay, if anything, okay. If you just really didn't know college, even I don't see how you
mistakes
see that.
were made,
but fine. Shut it down.
Because first of all, we know that that's what it is, because this person, whoever it was, it doesn't matter. What person do you know is going to go to a photographer and say, hey, I need you to take my pictures and you've never seen any of my work? That's how we know what I was thinking. That's how we know what it was. I'm sitting here
like, whoa, lady trying to fuck. I'm going to beat her ass. I was like, who was it? Who was it? Now, I am the auntie. If you trying to do some things, let's have some conversations. Your mama probably won't do it.
But we don't do
me and Uncle Larry going to go over there. I'm going to be like, Larry, go get this boy some condoms. He trying to do some things because it's going to happen. Ma'am, give me back my headphones.
And I think
it's going to happen. So let's be smart about it.
I know we're finna get out of here, but one day we do need to have a conversation about how many of these men out here were actually sexually assaulted. And they recognize it as that because of
I forgot who I was talking to was in conversation, and they shared a story, and I said, you mean when you were raped? Because they were like, no, I said, you were raped? That was rape. It was like, no,
but she was
you
30,
were raped.
She just picked me.
You were raped?
I want you to reverse that. And I want you to tell me if that's okay. That's still
Sir,
rape.
you were raped.
You were right. And then now you got to process that.
But anyway,
and that's a lot.
But I'm like, cause I already, that's one reason why I shut it down too. I don't have the words because I was so.
He'll be back.
Girl, she loved her daddy. I was so, it was so many alarms going off, but that was one of the alarms.
You was just like fuck? You was just like protect.
Yes.
And it was like, this baby don't even know.
Yes.
You ever think about like stuff? And I think we talked about this before, like the situations that you were in and your mama was like, kind of like what you immediately did, and we couldn't understand the why.
Yeah.
Because the reaction
was
like,
but how do I, but next time somebody asks me, so how do I do what she called? The fuck is she called?
Why did you?
As a matter of fact, when we get done, I'm gonna text him and be like, if that bitch called, you need to let me know.
Oh no.
Third, three-way that call so I can figure out who this is. Because the fuck. It was buku.
There's a large
professional photographer, professional as in the sense that it was Jerron Strickland. It was Dylan Young out there. It was Deron Talley out there.
She saw somebody and she thought they were cute. But here's the thing is that she, even if she did, she may not have known, whatever. But the conversation needs to happen with him. Hey, if this happens, you need to lead them to an adult to book with you. Do not give out your phone number because that could lead to some things that let me explain to you, hey, this is what this is because
I'm getting ready to be like, because I said so.
And I'm not saying like your feelings aren't valid because they're very valid, but you have to put it in a language so he gets the why behind it.
You're right. Auntie.
Otherwise, he's gonna be like, well, she just don't want. I can't have no booking. She don't want nobody.
Exactly.
And that's not what it's about. So there needs to be
safety.
Yeah, and so that needs to be talked about. And so let's talk about why this might be a safety issue.
It's funny that you're still talking about let's talk, and I'm like, I'ma stomp this bitch.
Yeah, but you're not gonna say that to him. He's not gonna get the lesson, or he's gonna keep giving out his phone number.
Okay,
he doesn't.
All right, Auntie, I hear you,
Auntie. But he's gonna keep doing it because he don't know.
But you know what? Right now, you know what? I realize the Lord has already blessed me, answered my prayers, and I didn't know it because I've said before that I wish Zipporah had a bonus mom like how I was for Nick. Now, not a stepmom because I be damned. That shit's not happening.
I'm done.
But the way I was with Nicholas, like
now auntie.
Okay, yeah,
nice. That's what aunties do.
But that's
they the fun ones.
I mean, I was dad's
and
girlfriend,
they'll
but
explain things like that. The aunties are the
like I said for my godson. His mama probably won't be like, okay, let's go to the store and get you some condoms. But me, Larry, go get him some condoms. This is what he talking about. This is what he came to us. He said this is what he want to do. He gonna do it. He's going to do it.
It's not that.
So let's do this. Now your mama get mad at me. She can cuss me out, fight me in the street, all that. But I'm doing this because I love your son and I love you. So but I was like, I really and truly hope Zipporah has somebody in her life it's going to do for her the way I do for my girlfriend Danielle and her kids, how I do for my godsons, how I do for Nicholas.
We need to also talk about how being an auntie is more than just the fashions. It's the role of that.
Yeah,
that's
so like
the role.
with you just saying that right there because I went into mama mode with my godson.
Well, yeah.
And you being like, well, it's about this thing because I'm like, I'm gonna stomp this bitch.
Yeah, and that's fine. Have that, but also, you got to talk to him.
But see, I've been you for these women that I just named. I've been you for them, and now it's like.
It's
anyway,
your turn.
okay, yes, ma'am.
It's your turn.
But anyway, yeah.
She
So
don't know what she wants.
So that's that. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, all right. Y'all watch y'all sons because people are weird out here.
Okay.
And I don't know if
you have to protect your boys too.
Yeah, protect your children because they're still children. I don't care if they have little mustaches or they grew their little locks out. They got I call it the children's haircut.
And look, he got his hair done today. He was up in my house a couple hours ago swinging his little locks around.
Watch your children.
Sit down.
Watch your children and also understand that they're their own person and talk to them, explain to them the whys.
But see, that's why I need
the behavior is more likely to be repeated.
K'Shana.
Don't just say like don't XYZ, don't XYZ. They're not gonna get it, and you have to explain like don't XYZ because. This is what can happen.
After I calm down, I will come back with that. But at the time, I was like,
have your feelings. Process
them. Fuck? I know the hell, a well grown woman out here. And then I was sitting here thinking like, if some shit happened, his mama, who's one of my close friends, gonna be looking at me like, Erin, what the fuck? And I'm be like, bitch, I don't know. Bitch, how you don't know?
They also need you to address it. Like if you would, by address it, I mean address it in a proper way. because they need to see you handle things properly.
Who was they? You talking about the parents or the kid?
The kid. Parents. Well, I'm not raising nobody grown.
Look, my girlfriend say like her nephew will be like, if something happens, he'll be like, "Oh, please don't call Auntie." Talking about my girlfriend, like, please don't call her.
It's important
because she gon' go up in there and wreck shop.
I think it's important for them to see you have your feelings too. They need to see you have your feelings, all the feelings that you have about that. They also need to see like how you handle it as well. And your feelings are your feelings. They ain't changed, but they also need to see that you can handle these. You can have them feelings and you can handle it in a certain way as well.
Right. So when he tells me I need to be like my mom and just be like, don't show any emotions. Because I want him to come to me and tell me things. Yes, ma'am. And I don't want him to be like, let me not tell. Yes.
She said now.
I want him to come tell me things. And I don't want him to be like, let me not tell Erin because she's going to blow a fucking gasket. Is that it? Gasket?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Whatever. Blow it. Okay? A fuse. I don't want to do that because I want him to come talk to me and tell me things.
Have feelings. Process them. Just, your feelings do not have to be indicative of the way you handle something. That's a decision.
You're right, because
you're gonna feel what you feel.
The Aries in me blows the fuck up, and then
we'll burn it down.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then I'm like, okay, so
yeah,
let's talk about this.
It's called
amicably.
Processing.
Yes,
healthy processing.
That is me. It's just that some people are privy to the blow up, and they think I'm a hothead. I'm like, I'm not a hothead. I'm just emotional, and I'm passionate about things.
She needs you to know.
What'd you do with my headphones? I just bought them yesterday.
Why do you only have one? Here we go again. Thank y'all so much for listening.
Bye. Support, say bye.
We did a lot today. Now, when we want you to say something, you refuse.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, fun. Bye.